Hello viewers, in the part 2 of the film on motivation, we have dealt with various theoretical explanation put forth for explaining the process of motivation, that is content, process and reinforcement theories. We have come to the conclusion that motivation is a complex process affected by a multiplicity of factors which relate to an individual nature of work and work organization. In this part of the film, we will learn about various techniques that can be used to arouse and sustain motivational level of an individual.
We have dealt with concept and theories. Now we will take up the last aspect, that is techniques of motivating employees. I think now the points should come from you. You are already familiar with the factors, you are all familiar with what impels the individual to put in efforts. So let me have at least one technique from each individual, right? Mr. Vijaypal, how can you motivate your employees?
Studying the needs of the people and
very right. Okay. So if I put in different words, we say the management or the manager must study the individual differences which exist among the various employees in the work organization. That means the needs, right, of the individuals will differ. So you have to have stock of what are the various needs of the people who are working in a particular organization or institution, or what are the capability levels of different individuals, what is the intelligence level of the individual, because when you are assigning jobs, you cannot assign every job to anyone, right? That means you have to look into whether the individual has the requisite capability to perform that kind of duty or a task, right? So you need to have stock of or cognizance of the individual differences which exist among the employees of the organization. Any other point?
Cooperation with employees.
Cooperation. Would you like to elaborate how cooperation would?
Suppose my maintenance man, he wants to repair the machines. So if he doesn't have the required number of tools, or he doesn't have the required material to put in, or whatever there is a need of.
Very right. If instead of cooperation, if I say provide necessary support, that means whatever resources, whatever facilities the individual wants in the organization to perform a particular task, those facilities must be provided to the individual. That will certainly motivate the individual. If you have, because when I say opportunities, it's again a part of opportunity. You have labs where you would like to experiment, right? If you want to carry out certain experiments, you require a raw material. So that raw material is also made available by the management. So provide necessary support. Or you have been assigned a task for which no facilities exist in the industry or the organization. The motivation level goes down. How can I do that? I have to procure all the material from outside, I have to hire people from outside and so on. So you are more worried about all these aspects. Your motivational level goes down. But if you have all the necessary support within the organization or institution, it really enhances your motivational level. Hanji.
additional bonus can be in the money.
Okay. no doubt. So monetary rewards provided by the organization or the industry, they can also lead to arousal of motivational level or increasing the motivational level. I need not go into monetary rewards because we have already discussed it in the previous section. What else? Hanji.
These incentives can be positive or negative incentives.
Monetary rewards, but let me put, you said negative incentives. Do you mean to say punishing people? That means you cut their salary? Isn't it the punishment? Now what happens? There is some possibility, because whenever there is a negative incentive attached to something, there is fear of failure. That आप कहते हो, if I fail in this activity, these are likely to be the consequences, right? Isn't it? So you may put in little more efforts in performing the task. But punishment, as far as possible, should not be used, because punishment has more adverse effects rather than favorable effects, right? Because the person who gets the punishment, his social acceptability is threatened, right? His ego is hurt, his self-esteem is threatened, right? And it has more adverse effect upon the individual. But if you have all the positive incentives, they'll have positive effect upon the performance of the individual, and the motivation will be affected in the favorable manner. Another is, Hanji, please, fresh promotions. Okay, so I would broadly take it as opportunities for growth and development. Opportunities for growth and development. Very right. Right. Participation in management activities, right? Let me have the broad area, because there are so many activities. So first thing is opportunities for growth and development. The individuals who are working in your organization, their development has to be ensured by you, because in a rapidly changing technology world, you have the technology is fast becoming obsolete. So the skills of the people need to be upgraded, updated, depending upon the changes in the technological environment, or the disciplines are changing their boundaries. The discipline, the information within a particular discipline is widening. Now you earlier had civil engineering, and rest of there was so many subjects in this. Now you have so many specialization in that subject. You have civil engineering ke under, hydraulics engineering is one, you have the highway engineering is another, structural engineering is another. So you have specialization which are expanding, fast expanding. So opportunities for growth and development are to be provided, and they need to be systematically planned, because once an employee join in an organization, he would not like to stick to the cadre he has joined. Everyone would like to attain the next higher position in the ladder. So you have to think of both the vertical and the horizontal mobility of the individual. Right? Add to the task which he is performing, go on adding different aspects of the task. Right? Vertical means if you have, the person has joined as junior engineer, he should be able to get senior engineer position and so on, where more responsibility, more autonomy is provided to him. So one has to systematically plan for vertical and horizontal mobility of the employees within the organization. So ample opportunities for growth and development are to be provided. Then participation in management activities. That means, as rightly said, decision making is one, because number of decisions are to be taken. So you can make the decision making process participatory, where the people from the grassroots level also participate in decision making. Or you have problem solving, or you have certain committees, subcommittees constituted at the organizational level. So employees from all levels should have participation or membership in those committees. That will enhance the or increase the motivational level of the individuals. Hanji.
Providing basic amenities. Providing leadership liberty.
So, okay, when you say leadership, I'll say provide more autonomy, more autonomy and responsibility. As the people grow and mature, and you think they are capable of handling more complex tasks, they are able to handle it independently, then grant autonomy and more responsibility to, and assign more responsibility to the individual. Any other point? Recognize. Okay. Recognize individual efforts. This is a problem with many of us, that whenever we are successful, we are able to attain the objective, we say the credit goes to me because I have put in the best efforts. This attitude has to be changed. The people who have worked for attaining the objective, they should be recognized. Some sort of recognition must be provided the individual who has put in his best to achieve those objectives. So when you start giving recognition to the individual who deserves it, then motivational level always increases. Any other point from your side? Very right, very right. So ये आपका very right. You can make use of reinforcers. Money is one of the reinforcers, but reinforcers in terms of kind and cash, right? And when he says pat on the back, very right, that works. A simple pat on the back will help the individual to increase his or raise his level of the performance, right? Along with that, let me give one or two more points. Reinforces your appraisal system that is, its performance reward linkage should be there in the industry. Rewards should be given on the basis of the performance, right? And the criteria should be made known to others. Likewise, congenial environment, which is non-threatening and supportive. That environment should be provided to the employees. In that environment, people will be motivated to work. Now, in the changing context, the demand for, as we rightly say, the knowledge workers will go high, right?
Standard of living, the first and the foremost demand of a knowledge worker.
I think the knowledge worker, if you really want to motivate him, then all your motivational factors as proposed by Herzberg, they work. That is more autonomy, more responsibility, more challenge in the job, more independence, that will work, rather than the monetary rewards, the pays and salaries, they'll work. So you have to think in those terms. Any other question? So I think you have broad idea of what motivation is and what affects the motivational level of individual and how we can really motivate the individual who are working in the organization.
So viewers, in nutshell, we can say that there are a number of techniques that can be used to arouse and sustain motivational level of an individual. However, the effectiveness of these techniques will depend upon the situation and the people who are involved in the particular situation. We hope viewers that this film has given you an in-depth study of motivation, which will help you in application of motivation for your own life and others. Thank you.